approval is now a currency,
Yeah.
more than it ever has been, and probably it will only get worse. But the access to approval and the value of approval has exacerbated so greatly that the ways in which people will act in order to pertain approval has become so immoral in a lot of ways. But the undertone to this, which I think is really concerning, is the way in which approval, the value of approval, is discerned. And generally, that's not by the population itself, but by an algorithm, right? And the algorithm is written sometimes by the algorithm itself, but a lot of the time the creator is a very small subset of people that may not necessarily have had the current position in mind when they wrote that algorithm. And let me give an example of what I'm saying. So everyone knows what YouTube is. Everyone's been on YouTube. Everyone spends a lot of time on YouTube, I'm sure. This podcast will go out on YouTube. The algorithm that determines what is and what isn't popular on YouTube is not understood by the authors of the algorithm. Take a small moment to digest that.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, that's fucking wild, right? So you have people that are attempting to earn a living through YouTube monetization, ads, views, etc. And you're attempting to offer sacrifice in terms of content, right, to the deity of an algorithm. And the first mover of said algorithm doesn't understand how the algorithm works 100%.
Yeah.
Right. And what we're now being governed by, and what you're blindly moving through the weeds of, let's say on Instagram or whatever, is an attempt to sell one's self and the value of one's self, entirely attributing to, what's the best way for me to put this? Entirely attributing to something that generally is false, right? People create characters, people create social media profiles, right, that aren't in alignment with who they are in their soul, in their core, right? Like, I've met you in real life, right? Yeah. And you were near as damn it the same person as you are in the podcast, right?
Thanks, I'm glad.
Like, maybe you'll say things with a little bit more freedom in person, but I think that's normal, right? But I have met people who are one way on social media and they are not the same person in real life. And that is very scary to me. It's very scary that it's the popularization of that action, the action to defecate essentially what it is to be an honest self, to sell an avatar, to sell something else in order for social points, when there's no buffalo. There is no buffalo, right? That buffalo doesn't fucking exist.
Yeah, not anymore, right?
No, the chase for buffalo when it comes to Instagram or YouTube or Reddit is infinite. You're chasing the buffalo that doesn't exist.
Right.
And the extremes at which people will go to, and if we bring this slightly back to grappling, the extremes at which people will go to in order to create a persona is scary to me.
Yeah.